In this next segment, we give you guys a sneak peek at how the America East plans to celebrate Black History Month. As part of its celebration of Black History Month, the America East Conference is recognizing one African-American alumni from each of its 9 member institutions. This segment gives you a behind-the-scenes look at how the conference will celebrate the month of February.
Well, I would say what originally drew me to teaching was the content. I fell in love with history in high school, and so I wanted to find a way to sort of continue that passion for history, and I found that in teaching. But once I became a teacher, I quickly realized that the real passion was in interacting with the students. And you know, content aside, just having those short conversations with students, just laughing with the students, answering their questions. And it's so interesting how they have so many questions, not even about the content, but just about life. And to be able to impact them on a daily basis and to say, hey, look, one day you will also be a professional. And one day, you will be a teacher, a lawyer, a doctor, an accountant, whatever your field is. And so start that path now. To be able to say that and stress it every day, I think is tremendous. And that is where I have found my passion in education.
I was inspired by the fact that there was so much gang violence. I mean, these kids were experiencing a sense of hopelessness and marginalization that many of them saw no options. They saw no alternatives. They felt that the only thing they could do was get involved in gangs and drugs, and many believed that was the only way out. And again, looking at my personal experience and what I've been able to do, I clearly wanted to get that message to them that there were other opportunities if they were willing to pursue them. And my job, or at least I felt my responsibility, was to show them or expose them to as many of those opportunities as possible.
Well, my experience, I was an ROTC student in the Air Force at Vermont, and I was pretty good at marching and giving orders and all that, so it gave me posture and bearing and all that. When I went to Japan, I had Japanese employees I was responsible for, and when I learned the language, I was able to deal with them, man up, and it worked marvelously well. In banking, when I came back, that was not my first job. My first job was with AT&T, Ma Bell. And I went from there to Booz Allen and Hamilton, which is a worldwide consulting firm. And it was like getting a Harvard MBA working there. At Marine Midland Bank, I was the first African-American vice president they'd ever had. So that was significant. It was a breakthrough back in 1972. They've had many vice presidents since, but I was the very first. So I think that maybe I'm a pioneer in that regard. Matter of fact, at Vermont, I was the first black president of the student body and the first black president of the Men's Honor Society. So I've tried to at least get my foot in the door and hope that others would follow.
Well, it's a tremendous honor for me. Anytime you're asked to represent or participate in anything that's on Martin Luther King Day in the United States is of significance because of what the day symbolizes to all Americans, and in particular what Martin Luther King stood for. Diversity, coming together, being one. And certainly when we look at athletics, and in particular team sports, there is no environment that more speaks to people of different backgrounds, cultures, and races coming together. So coming out of that environment at Stony Brook, I'm honored to now, years later, to be able to represent the university in that capacity.